The rise of the Roman Empire. The Roman Empire was one of the most powerful and influential civilizations in human history. At its height, it controlled territories stretching from Britain to the Middle East and governed nearly a quarter of the world's population. But how did a small city in central Italy become the dominant power of the ancient world? The rise of Rome was not the result of a single event. It was a combination of military strength, political innovation, strategic geography, and the ability to adapt and integrate conquered peoples. In this video, we'll examine the key factors that transformed Rome from a small settlement into a vast empire. The founding of Rome. Rome was traditionally founded in 753 BC, although archaeological evidence suggests that settlements existed in the area even earlier. The city's location played a major role in its development. Rome was built along the Tiber River, providing access to trade routes while also being far enough from the coast to avoid frequent pirate attacks. Additionally, the Italian peninsula had fertile land suitable for agriculture, allowing the population to grow and support larger armies. The Roman monarchy and early development. During its early history, Rome was ruled by kings. This period saw the construction of important infrastructure, including roads, defensive walls, and religious institutions. The Romans also borrowed heavily from neighboring civilizations, particularly the Etruscans and the Greeks. From the Etruscans, they adopted engineering techniques and aspects of urban planning. From the Greeks, they adopted elements of art, religion, and military organization. This willingness to learn from other cultures became one of Rome's greatest strengths. The Roman Republic. In 509 BC, the Romans overthrew their last king and established the Roman Republic. Unlike monarchies, the Republic distributed power among elected officials and the Senate. This political system provided stability and allowed Rome to manage an increasingly large territory. Although political power was largely controlled by wealthy elites, the Republic created institutions that enabled long-term expansion and effective administration. The Roman Republic. Unlike monarchies, the Republic distributed power among elected officials and the Senate. This political system provided stability and allowed Rome to manage an increasingly large territory. Although political power was largely controlled by wealthy elites, the Republic created institutions that enabled long-term expansion and effective administration. The expansion of Rome, Indiana, Italy. Over the next 2 centuries, Rome gradually conquered the Italian peninsula. Unlike many ancient powers, Rome often allowed conquered peoples to become allies and, in some cases, citizens. Instead of simply ruling through fear, Rome created a network of partnerships that provided additional soldiers and resources. This system dramatically increased Rome's military capabilities and gave it a significant advantage over its rivals. The Roman military machine. One of the main reasons for Rome's rise was its army. Roman soldiers were highly disciplined, extensively trained, and organized into legions. The Roman military also demonstrated remarkable flexibility. When faced with new enemies or new tactics, the Romans adapted quickly and improved their own methods. Military service created experienced commanders and battle-hardened troops, allowing Rome to wage wars continuously for centuries. The Roman army was not only a fighting force, it was also an instrument of expansion, engineering, and administration. The Punic Wars and Mediterranean dominance. Rome's rise accelerated during the Punic Wars against Carthage. These conflicts lasted from 264 BC to 146 BC and determined who would dominate the Mediterranean. Although Rome suffered devastating defeats, particularly against the Carthaginian general Hannibal, it ultimately prevailed. The destruction of Carthage removed Rome's greatest rival in the West. As a result, Rome gained control of major trade routes and enormous amounts of wealth and territory. By the 2nd century BC, Rome had become the leading power in the Mediterranean world. The crisis of the Republic. Rapid expansion also created new problems. Economic inequality increased, political corruption became widespread, and powerful military leaders gained enormous influence. The Republic struggled to govern its growing territories. A series of civil wars eventually weakened the traditional political system. Figures such as Julius Caesar demonstrated that military commanders could challenge the authority of the Senate itself. The birth of the empire. Following Caesar's assassination in 44 BC, another period of civil war erupted. Eventually, Caesar's adopted son, Octavian, defeated his rivals and became the sole ruler of Rome. In 27 BC, the Senate granted him the title Augustus. This event marks the beginning of the Roman Empire. Although many republican institutions remained, real power was now concentrated in the hands of one ruler. The Roman Empire had officially begun. Conclusion. The rise of Rome was a gradual process that took centuries. From a small settlement on the Tiber River, Rome evolved into the most powerful state of the ancient world. Its laws, language, architecture, and political ideas continue to influence modern societies more than 2,000 years later. Understanding the rise of Rome helps us understand how one civilization can transform regional power into global dominance, and how the foundations of the modern world were shaped by an empire that began as a small city in central Italy. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.